Hey geeks, here's just a quick video of some comics that I recently came across, and I'm holding the camera in my hand, so I apologize for the shakiness, but this is going to be real quick. I didn't want to just mount the camera and set it up. So I went to my local comic book shop, and I found this really interesting comic here in one of their back issue boxes, Starstream, Adventures in Science Fiction. And you can see it's got stories by Theodore Sturgeon, Jack Williamson, Anne McCaffrey, and A.E. Van Volk, all luminaries of the science fiction literature. And I just love the cover. Check out that cover, man. Isn't that cool? It's like really rad architecture. It's almost like a futuristic modernist slash brutalist architecture, you know? And it's obviously like out in space. And I'd never heard of this comic book before. It was published by Whitman. I haven't cracked it open yet. It went for 79 cents back in the day, but I gotta think that this came out in the 70s or 80s. Yeah, there's a copyright, but there's no date on it. So, you know, at that price point, it's a larger size comic. Let's see what we have here on the back. Let's see, I got it for $10. Blast off with Starstream. 4 great first editions. Comic adaptations, best science fiction in the galaxy. Asimov, Anderson, Niven. So basically the gist of the comic was they would take the greats of science fiction literature and parlay their stories into comic book form. So that's what got my attention, and you know, I'm gonna have to just like look out for more of these. It looks like they got some really great covers too. So this is the first one that I have, and there's these others. So, you know, looking at this is, it's hard to tell if this is I don't know. I got to look into further. I don't know if I've got maybe a reproduction copy, or if I've got an original that goes back to the 70s or 80s. I think it's an original, you know. So anyway, we'll crack that one open and check it out. This other one that I'm about to show you is a reproduction comic book, which means they took some old comics and repackaged them in sort of a magazine size format. These might be comics that are out of copyright. You know, they're in Creative Commons or whatever you call it, so they're you know, anyone can grab them and republish them. And so, but the cover is what really caught my eye, and I'll give you a moment to look at this cover, and then you can drop in the comments below who you think this is. Startling Comics, 10 cents. Now, this did not cost 10 cents, unfortunately. I took it up to the counter and I asked the nice lady behind the cash register if this was indeed 10 cents, and she said no, it's actually $19.99. So it's a new comic in terms of it's, you know, it's a new magazine, but all the comics in here are from, apparently, maybe a Startling Comics was a book in the past. Definitely Lance Lewis Space Detective was around back in the day. And I think this is a reproduction of an original cover from probably the 50s. 10 cents. So 10 cents was in the 50s. But look at that. Look at that robot. That robot remind you of anybody? If you're a fan of the show Futurama, that looks like Bender. That is frickin' Bender, man. And it's funny because when I brought it up to when I went to check out, there was a different person at the cash register, and he looked at that and he goes, "Oh, Bender." And I said, "Right? That's why this jumped out at me, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, look, it's Bender." At first I thought this is some kind of Futurama, you know, comic that Matt Groening, the creator of Futurama and The Simpsons, put out. It's because I think the show has been revived and it's on Hulu or one of those channels. And so I thought, well, this has to be some kind of tie-in with Futurama, but it's not. I think it's an original cover from a comic back in the 50s, and the robot looks like our modern day Bender from the TV show Futurama. So clearly, I think this is where they got the inspiration for Bender, is what I'm guessing. I don't know. I got to do a little more research on that. And you can see back there, there's probably Lance Lewis, the space detective, and he's going to hopefully save the damsel in distress who's being carried off by Bender, who is sans a cigarette and bottle of whiskey, which he normally appears with, I think. So, so I just thought that was crazy, man. But yeah, and you can see the, facsimile edition. So telling you that, hey, this is a reproduction of an old comic, but you got the original ad on the back. How a simple discovery made Billy a happy boy. And then, so if you read that, I guess you'll figure out what that simple discovery is. It looks like it's piano lessons. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Another interesting thing I found was this manga, Batman Justice Buster Volume 1. And it's got this cool cover, back cover on it. And, it's modern day Batman manga, man. So, for $10, I was like, it's a good Penguin. I was like, yeah, I'll pick that up. DC's been making a push into more Batman manga. There's a new, I think it's called Batman manga or Bat manga, not the old Bat manga from the 50s or 60s, but like updated. And then there's Batman and the Justice League, also in a manga format. And now this is a new book, I think, this Justice Buster. So gonna check it out. I was thumbing through it. I think it kind of, I don't know if it is maybe more of the origin story told in manga form, possibly, but anyway, it looks pretty cool. It looks super cool. Found a DC Showcase presents The War That Time Forgot. And so this was a comic I was aware of, but I didn't read it back in the day. And these books are interesting because usually when you find them, they are way more than the cover price, because they're all, pretty much all out of print. You can see here it's $16.99 for this book. Oh, look. There's the Phantom Stranger. And so they had a bunch of these, and I didn't see any sticker on it, because I've seen these go for as much as $40. So I thought, well, I'll take it up to the register and see what they say. And when the guy rang it up, he said it rang up for more than $16.99, but he gave it to me for $16.99. And I was like, cool, man. So, but yeah, whenever I find these, usually, depending on what the title is, I'll pick them up. And, because some stuff I just got to have it in color. But I do like these because you can see in black and white, like, just how good the artwork really is. I mean, I love color, don't get me wrong. But, you can really see like the craft, with the pencil, when it's just pure pencil and ink, the folks that do the artwork on these. And this is fat. Look at that. That's a great effect with those guys trying to get out of the submarine with the water coming in. Because they're getting attacked by a giant turtle. I mean, how can that's all? There's a giant crab. I mean, that's all this is like, how many pages is this? Almost 600 pages of just nonstop giant reptiles at war with the United States Army. I mean, this is what your Jurassic Park sequel should have been like, you know. I mean, how can you not turn it down? How can you pass this up? You can't pass this up. You got pterodactyl. These guys look like it looks like Dum Dum from Captain America days, but that's Marvel. So yeah, you know, it's really cool. I mean, this is just good old fashioned, you know, pulp monster sci-fi. You know, there's a Kong type. This, I don't know. The more I look at this book, the more wacko and gonzo it is, and it makes me want to actually start reading it now. But I'm knee deep in a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it's just I had to get it. I had to get it because I never paid attention to this stuff when I was collecting comics as a kid, and I'm like, well, I got a lot of catching up to do with this title because it's just too good to pass up. And then another one of these showcases I got, Challengers of the Unknown, baby. Over 500 pages of comics. And this one was it $16.99? Yeah, $16.99 also, and he gave it to me for that price. Now, this is volume 2, because I have essentially volume 1 in color. I have the DC archived editions of them, which are, as we've seen in my previous videos with the All-Star comics, are, you know, just fantastically created books. They're on high quality paper. They're wrapped in basically library, you know, cellophane type covering. But these showcases, the whole idea is to give you like as complete a run as they can in black and white on relatively cheap paper. But I got volume 2 because I don't have these comics. The Challengers of the Unknown that I already have would basically consist of a volume 1, and those were the ones that Jack Kirby did. So of course I got to have those in color. These are after Kirby left. So after Kirby left, the comic still, you know, continued for quite some time until it was, you know, eventually canceled, like comics sometimes are. So, you know, I wanted to read the continuing adventures of the Challengers of the Unknown after Jack Kirby left, and I'm actually reading the color versions right now in the DC archived editions, and I'll probably do a video on those because those are very interesting comics and very entertaining. But yeah, I wanted to get this to get like the complete run, you know, of the original Challengers of the Unknown. Now, these guys reappear in different eras of DC comic. The comic book itself, I think, has been revived a couple of times. Some of the characters have changed in and out and that sort of thing, but I think the originals are probably the best. Yeah, so let's see. We got Ace Morgan, Fearless Jet Pilot, Prof. Haley, Master Scuba Diver, Red Ryan, Circus Daredevil, Rocky Davis, Olympic Wrestling Champion. So the premise with these guys is they were all in a plane crash together, and they all walked out of it without a scratch. So their whole thing is, wow, we're living on borrowed time. We should be like fearless adventurers. And that's basically, and they sort of kind of become kind of like agents of the U.S. government when there's like, you know, mysterious things going on that they need to, investigate, or, you know, super dangerous things that they need to, they need to be involved with. That's what they do, and they take on any assignment with enthusiasm. And you can see here they're messing around with some aliens and a UFO, flying saucer and whatnot. So yeah, you know, I don't know who the artists are on these, but these books are good. Let's see, they'll tell you. You can see here they give you the writer, and they usually say, let's see, they'll start out and they'll say, oh yeah, all art by Bob Brown unless otherwise noted. So Apparently Bob Brown did most of these, but they had different writers. Some of them unknown writers. Kind of adds to the mystery since they are the challengers of the unknown. Some of the writers are indeed unknown as well. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that's it. That's just a quick look. Anything else do I have interesting? Yeah, why not? Frank Miller's Ronin Book II. This is a variant cover by Frank Miller, and I got it at cover price too. So they usually mark these up, but this one wasn't. There's going to be 6 of these. This is issue number 5, and I'm not going to read them until the 6th one comes out. So I'll just read them all together. But take a look at some of the art here real quick. Yeah, this looks like crazy issue. That's pure Miller right there. So if you know about Ronin, this apparently, Ronin came out in the mid 80s. This apparently kind of picks up with the same characters. And it just looks spectacular, and it's in black and white. The original Ronin was in color. So really looking forward to reading through this whole series. I'm sure they're going to have a trade paperback come out. The issue number 6, I think, is supposed to come out in January. And then I'm sure they're going to do trade paperback, and I'm sure they'll do like, maybe like an ultimate hardcover edition and all that good stuff. So it looks good. I can't wait to read it. I didn't want to like get into reading it monthly and then having to wait. Actually, because they haven't been coming out monthly. They've been coming out like every quarter, like every 3 months. So this, I didn't want to have to wait 3 months to read the next issue on a cliffhanger, So yeah, and I've been buying these, doubles, triplicate, quadruples, because they're going to be worth something, I'm surprised this book isn't getting more acclaim than it is. It's kind of flying under the radar. But one thing about comics is it's famine one day, but feast the next. You may get overlooked today, but tomorrow, people will discover the book, and a couple of viral YouTube videos will drop, and then next thing you know, everyone's clamoring to get the book, and you already bought it when it was coming out. So, and you already read it, and you were like, well, I told y'all it was good, but you guys are reading other crap. So, no, I'm kidding. Everybody has their own taste. So, anyway, if you have read it, don't drop any spoilers in the comments. Just say if you liked it or not, or if you didn't. Hopefully, I'll be reading the whole thing here in the next few weeks. So, and then, I definitely do want to do a video on this. Probably easier to do that if it comes out as a trade paperback, but yeah, who knows when that'll happen. So I'll probably just show off each one of the issues and go through them. And they're double-sized issues. I mean, for today's standards for comics, these are pretty thick. I think they're running about 60 pages. So trade paperback should be a pretty nice volume when it comes out. So anyway, that's it. It is just a few days before Christmas, so Merry Christmas. And I'll see you on the other side of the holiday. Hope you get everything that you want from Santa and loved ones. Till then, stay geek.